Hello everyone, it's Yvonne here to do the reading for the lovely sign of Taurus. Taurus, if you're joining me today and you identify as a Taurus, it's more than likely Taurus is your sun sign. Keep in mind that you actually have a lot of other signs in your chart and you would have had when you were born. So if you're interested in finding out more about that, you can Google natal chart or birth chart. Go to one of the sites that offers a free chart. They will allow you to print it up or have access to it. And you put in the details of your birth, where you were born and your date of birth. If you have your time of birth, even better, because you can access your ascendant or your rising. But without those, you can still get a really good chart. And you'll be able to find out where your moon sign was, where your Venus was, and possibly where your rising or ascendant is. So what does that mean? That means that you can watch lots of videos that might resonate with you, but it also means that you get a better understanding of who you are when you get the nice rounded picture of yourself. So with the sun sign, I'm pretty sure I've got this right, but maybe you need to look it up. The sun sign shows the aspect of the world of yourself that you show to the world, and I'm pretty sure the moon sign is the side of yourself that you know but you don't show to others. But there is sort of another aspect to that. So, for example, if you are looking at the type of person that other people see you as, maybe you will have a greater understanding of what you don't see. Now, it's really interesting because I was watching something the other day on the True Mirror. And the fact is, you know, when we're sitting in front of a mirror or looking into a mirror, we see an inverted version of ourselves. And it's not how we look to other people, because we've turned it around the other way. And they were showing people a true mirror and saying to people with the true mirror to have a look at themselves. And some people just got so emotional because they always saw themselves as the inverted, which meant they had less confidence or less faith or trust in themselves. But when they saw themselves as the true image, it changed that. Ten of Swords coming through. So I sort of feel like the astrology, sorry, of yourself is sort of much the same. Your sun sign only shows one aspect of you, but maybe it would be really good to understand your moon sign so that you can understand the deeper levels of yourself. And I always say I've watched different readings and sometimes they've resonated so strongly, but they haven't actually been, you know, something that I would have normally watched. I know with my chart, other than those main signs, I have a lot of fire in my chart, which I feel is where I get all the passion from, because the weighting of those signs makes difference too. But anyway, do yourself a favor, go and have a look and see what you think. Print out the birth chart and keep it for future use and go back and have a look at it. It's really very interesting. All right, if you are interested in getting a personal reading with me, I am available over the Christmas break, just not for the next 4 days. But if you want to email me, I would say to you, get in if you want a reading when I return, because I'm only back for a couple of days and then we're into the following week. So, yes, let me know. Email me at theaussiegoddess@gmail.com. The Aussie Goddess is all one word, no numbers, all spelt correctly. And I can send you a list of what I can provide. My website, I'm hoping to get up after Christmas, but I'm still toying with whether it's worthwhile or not, only because it sort of costs a bit of money to have it all set back up and keep it maintained. If you're interested in joining me, taking out a membership, or even just supporting the channel, you can join on the join button or on the membership button underneath the video. All right, Taurus, let's get into your reading. So we have the Six of Wands coming out. So there's something that is about to happen that's going to see you have a victory. Now, sometimes when the victory card comes out, there is a little bit of a energy of, you know, I always think it's that whole be careful what you wish for, or, you know, not everything that looks good, you know, not everything that glistens is gold, like that type of energy. So there is a little bit of that element. But The victory could be at work, for example. Somebody may see your work and give you a little bit of a pat on the back that makes you feel good about what you've done, or it can be a victory in another area of your personal life. But whichever way it's going, you're actually up for some sort of victory. It could be, for example, that you get accolades. Yes, you could get a certificate or you could complete something, which is great. But I think a lot of the time it's about being recognized for that rather than the actual thing itself. So we do have the Tower coming through behind that. Let's just go behind the Tower. Oh my goodness. This energy that keeps coming through this week is so astounding. And I feel like I had the Tower with the Death card in the What's Cracking reading. So there's a lot of energy, Taurus, around something here that you've achieved or got past that has been very, very difficult for you. So I feel like this victory card is coming out the other side of something. Scorpio, Capricorn energy, and you have the Justice card. You know, I often talk about, karma, because a lot of people feel karma is something very, very different to what it is. And I know that, a lot of people sort of deliberate on whether we bring past life stuff through with us or not, but there has been some findings on that. So sometimes we can bring past karma into this lifetime, but it can be karma that we have created ourselves that we're working through now. So for example, maybe you always sort of disregarded certain people, and maybe you were, in your younger years, you were, I'm trying to think how to explain it. Let's talk about past life because that makes it so much easier. Maybe in a past life, you were married to someone and you were extremely cruel to them. And you come into this lifetime with that energy that you had behind it. Could have happened earlier in your life as well. But what happens is often we're given lessons to teach us how to do things differently. It's not about punishment. We may meet people who treat us the same as we treated them. Or it could be that, we sort of have to work our way through that energy to rid ourselves of that karma. But sometimes I feel like the karma may be something a lot deeper, like you may have had, I almost want to say issues around something when you were younger. I'm trying to think of what particular sort of status it might be. But you may have grown up with a very racist family. And so you take on that energy and you're very racist towards people. But then as you get older, you start to realize somehow that doesn't feel right to you anymore. And maybe you start to learn a little bit more around your own fears of people that you don't know or don't know about. And then you work your way through that, and then you start to realize, I don't feel that way anymore because I've done this work and now I'm out the other side. And that's sort of karma. With the idea that you may have been married to someone in the past, you might find relationships are very difficult to get off the ground in this lifetime because you're still working off karma from past lives. But it may be something like, you've experienced your parents having a poor relationship and now you're trying to work to get yourself out the other side of that. But whatever's going on here, I feel like you've done or acknowledged that work, that karma, and you're about to free yourself up from something. So whatever it is, it's almost like you're walking out the other side of having done something a certain way, but now understanding you need to do things differently. I hope that sort of got through. That's the energy that's coming through. All right, I have the Six of Cups. So we're talking definitely about some sort of past energy. The Five of Swords, something that you would walked away from. Okay, Nine of Pentacles, I like it. And the Page of Wands. So there's a situation here from the past that you walked away from. Always remember with these readings, though, they do flip-flop. So I could be talking to somebody from your past that this happened to. But there's a past feeling here of walking away from something because it no longer served you. And maybe the karma here is that you walked away from something before you'd really made up your mind you wanted to invest, or you walked away from something because it was creating a lot of pain for you. Whatever it is, it's like you've learned something from that and you've created this energy of, victory, but coming out the other side of something. I feel like you're feeling really good about it too. So I have the Five of Pentacles coming through with the Five of Wands. So we have all fives in this reading, and the Ten of Pentacles. And maybe because of this particular thing, you still have doubts. Did you walk away from something that you thought could not, maybe the person you were dealing with was not changeable? You couldn't change them, but you loved them. And I feel, sometimes we have to walk away from things, even when we love something, because it's really not serving us. If you're dealing with somebody, especially with that Devil card coming up, who had a toxic personality, for example, and they treated you really badly, but you were so in love with them. Why, I don't know. We fall in love with people who treat us poorly, but something to do with our upbringing. We think that's how we need to be loved. And it looks as though you walked away from this situation, but maybe you've sort of queried it for a long time. And I feel like you're coming out the other side now. So it's very possible, you just had 11:01 on the clock. It's very possible that now you're understanding why you did what you did, and you're validating yourself for your choices. And that is the karma subsiding. So, we learn all the time as human beings, and it's not about being punished. It's about us understanding how to learn about ourselves. So it's there for a reason. But to me, it's sort of like you've gone through a lot of self-doubt, confidence issues because of this particular situation. Now, if it's not a romantic thing for you, it could be a family thing where you're always querying. But the problem is, if you go back, you will actually see why that's different now to what it was before. Because when your eyes are open and you're aware and you've done some of that work and you've cleared some of that karma, you're no longer blinded by things or people. All right, so I have the Page of Cups coming through with the Ten of Cups. Ten of Cups on the Ten of Pentacles with the Nine of Swords and the Ace of... Okay. I feel absolutely that you have cleared a lot of this karma and you are feeling the love for yourself now. So maybe you've done a lot of work in order to see your truth or who you are. Now, it could be that you've cleared a lot of the anxiety and disappointment around relationships. That could be family again, or it could be romantic relationships. And maybe, like me and many others, you've repeated a pattern for a really long time before realizing that that is a pattern of yours. And then you go and you start doing the work to understand your patterns around attachment, rejection, all of those sort of things which stem back to your childhood. When you start to heal those, you start to realize that perhaps it wasn't your fault or you were not to blame. I'm not saying that you still have to work through those energies. It's like you can understand better that it was an external device rather than, your choices that really made it hard for you. So once you start making different choices, opening your eyes to things, understanding your patterns, you can come out the other side knowing full well that you now see everything you needed to see. It's really funny. One of the greatest examples of that is knowing people's red flags. When you meet people and you're dating and they love bomb and they give you red flags and you ignore them and you think that's okay, it will go away. And then you get a couple of months into a relationship and the person you're with is nothing like the person you met. And you're like, what's going on here? But by that time, you've actually got the feelings and the pangs of love because they've given you all that love bombing. So you feel that you're in love with them and it's really hard to walk away. And then the downslope comes. They start getting cruel or mean or treating you really badly, but now you're hooked. So walking away from something like that is so difficult because you feel the pangs of love, but you're walking away from something that you actually want to be with, but you realize what they're doing. So when it comes around and you've done the work and you're out dating a person and they start doing the same thing, you treat them completely differently because you see, you have your eyes open. So you can see those faults or those attributes in people that really aren't good for you. So I feel like there's a victory. I feel like you've come out of the other side of something. I feel like somehow or another your karma has been, look, you've been working at it here. It's like your karma has been cleared and you're moving away from this situation now. I feel like, look at the power you have. So whatever this is, Taurus, it's like you've cleared the energy here for something new. So you've put aside, you know, all of those things you learned that are no longer serving you. And you're now relying on your own strengths. That's where the victory card comes in. All right, let's have a look and see. Oh, there it, oh, no, I'm not taking that many. Just one will do, thank you. I obviously need to go round again. There it is. Achilles, confidence. So I don't think I need to read too much from this. I was talking about Achilles the other day because the story of Achilles is quite lovely. Because if I remember rightly, his mother, there was some sort of destiny for Achilles where he was going to die. So when he was born, knowing that something had been foretold about him, his mother took him down to the river Styx and dropped him in the water and held onto his ankles. And when he died, it was because he was shot in the ankle. But we now have an Achilles heel because of that. So it's a very delicate part of our bodies. If we damage it, we can't walk. So I always think that's a really interesting little story. So this is about confidence, and it says you are strong, worthy and confident. Step forward in courage, knowing you can achieve exactly what you desire. So that's a beautiful card to get for the reading. So the story is actually here. But I just want to have a look. It says Achilles may stride into your life when you most need a confidence boost. Know that you are worthy, capable, and have the strength to do what you need to do. Growing your self-esteem from the inside out rather than relying on others for your measure of worthiness may be a message you could heed. So that was absolutely perfect for the reading. I won't be around again now for the next 4 days. So I want to wish you happy holidays. Merry Christmas if you're a Merry Christmas person. Have a fabulous break, and I will be back next week. Take care.